One of the questions that I get each and every single day is, what are the daily routines that you take in order of you to be able to be where you are? And trust me guys, with me just waking up, at times I can say that I can wake up at 3 a.m. At times I can say that I wake up at 8 a.m. But the times are never the same. Today's video, I'm going to be breaking down to you what are the daily routines that actually help me be able to be successful. But successful to me actually means being able to consistently work towards my craft, consistently be able to analyze, look at the markets, set my mindset straight, and on top of that, be able to execute trades, track them down, journal them, and as well be able to just share them as signals with my private members. So that's what you're going to be learning and seeing on today's video. What's going on guys, it's a boy Liswa Mutupi, and on today's video we are going to be speaking about some of the daily routines that you as a trader need to be able to follow through with. Obviously guys, if you haven't before yet on my channel, I need you guys to hit that like button only if you happen to find value from my available information or my available videos. But on top of that, I need you guys to as well subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell, so whenever I upload videos, you'll be the first to know. So what are some of those daily routines? So obviously, like I did mention to you guys, that waking up in the morning, it's something that I would love to do. I can be consistent, like only if I set my mind to, but I won't lie if I say every morning I wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. because most days I can actually just let that time push through. So sometimes I'll be waking up somewhere around 7, 8, somewhere around 7, 8. That's when I would actually be awake. But being awake obviously doesn't mean that the alarm goes off and then boom, I'm running to the charts. No, as you're awake, I'm more likely to just sit, stare at the ceiling, and then I start thinking or visualizing about what's a perfect day for me. Before I even move out of bed, I'll just be visualizing about what actually is a perfect day for me. Is there any big events that are going to be happening in the markets that maybe I can take advantage of? Is there something that I should know today that's going to help me be able to be a step forward? But that is the first thing that you need to do. You don't just wake up and start going ahead and doing certain things. Just sit down, lay low for a while, like 5 to 10 minutes even possible, and make sure that you are visualizing and you're just thinking about the perfect day for you. So as soon as I'm done doing that, as soon as I'm done visualizing, obviously now I'm gonna need to just sometimes I can just take a walk, just to cool off. But one thing that I make sure that I do is that I never just go on my phone and I don't go on my phone. Like, that's something that I actually do, and I've been consistent with that. I don't go on my phone you won't see me updating maybe status or all those things. I just try to connect with myself at that moment, so I'll just maybe take a walk, listen to some audio books, and just do certain things such as maybe do push-ups here and there, do certain physical things that will actually accelerate my energy, that will make me feel good. And as well, when I'm done doing exactly that, what I do is that normally I'll just sit down in a calm area, and then I'll start just meditating, allowing me to just remove all those negative energies, all those things that I do not want, but as well to be able to attract the things that I actually do want. Like, you watching this video obviously means that you're interested in the things that I say. So I have attracted you to watch this video because I knew that if I say the right things, you're going to be watching this and you should be taking down notes, obviously, if you're finding massive value from it. But that's what I do. I just focus more on that, delete the things that I don't want, focus more on what I want, what are more of things that I need to do and stuff. And when I'm done with that, that's when you just see me going and affirming. So affirmations would be more like me just telling myself things such as I am a consistent trader, no matter what, I'll always make profits from the market. So all those things, I do exactly that. And obviously the most important thing that I make sure that I do before I even open up my laptop is to pray. So what prayer does for me is that it opens up the path for me to be able to just go through the day knowingly that I've got my faith down. So whatever that I'm doing is because of I'm working on my journey, and as well it just allows me to believe in whatever that I'm doing. Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, as traders, we're doing things that we do not know that this is I need to do this. Find out that most things I'm doing for the first time, and when doing something for the first time, you don't really know much. Yeah, you've maybe learned from here and then there. So obviously I need that faith and belief to know that it's actually going to work out. So that is the first thing that I'll be doing, looking at it in the morning. Remember, I start off by visualizing, and then I go all the way up to physical trainings and do all those things. So by this time it should be somewhere around 10 a.m. So all these things I should be done by them by 10 a.m. So at this time it's 10 a.m. I'm done with all those things that I need to do. So this is when I can actually just like decide that what is it that I'm gonna do. Am I just gonna look at maybe a few missed calls that I had before the time frame, but I won't go too deep in it. I'll just see missed calls, and especially on my other phone, whereby it's like literally where people that are close to me can get access to me. I'll just be looking at who tried to call me, because my phone is always on do not disturb mode. So I just look at who tried to call me, who can I call back, who can I talk with and stuff. And as well, when doing that, what I'll do is that it'll take me more like 5 to 15 minutes, just quick calls and stuff. And then when I'm done with that, normally what I'll do is that I'll focus a bit more on reading books. So reading books is actually helping me grow every single day, because as a trader, every single day you just have to develop, you just have to become a better version of yourself. And I just make sure that I read a book each and every single day. In fact, I make sure that I finish a book a week. So that's a goal that I'm working on, and I've been consistently with that, like reading a book a week. And no matter how thick it is, whether it's this thick or there's this thick, I make sure that I finish it within a week, or whether it's this thin, but I take down notes as well and do all those things. So that's what I do. And normally reading a book should take me up to an hour. So this is now around 11. So after 11, that's when I'm at a cool position. I'm not dope. Everything is now making sense to me. I can just go refresh, come back 30 minutes later. That's when I'll start sitting down on the markets, because at this time I know that the London session has already opened. The markets is moving in terms of GBP JPY, because I trade GBP JPY. So that's when I'll normally just start off by analyzing it. I'll start by analyzing it, looking at what actually happened the previous day, looking at today, daily, 4-hour charts, 1-hour charts, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes once again, see if maybe I'll get an entry on a smaller time frame, and then I let go, I leave it. I'm not trying to find a setup at this time. I'm just trying to see what the market is doing today. And what will happen next is that I'll be going on US 500, US 30, and as well NASDAQ. Then I'll be analyzing, seeing what they're trying to tell me, not looking for opportunities. Even though I know that I send signals to my private members, I make sure that whenever I send a signal, it's a right signal. I don't send signals every day. You won't see me sending 3 signals, 2 signals. No. If I send a signal, just know that I thought about it, I looked at it, I analyzed it, I had all my pre-market analysis things that I actually had to do. So that's what I do. Once I'm done analyzing, looking at them, that's when I'll see, okay, this for the day, it's giving me some sort of an setup. This is not giving me a setup. This is not a setup. So I filter out the ones that are not giving me setups. Then I focus on the one that's actually giving me a setup. So let's say now out of 4 instruments that I was looking at, and 2 or 1 is giving me a setup for the day, what I'll do is that I'll stop looking at these, and then now I'll start diving into looking at these 2. So that's what I'm more likely to do. So that's one thing that I'll be looking into doing. I'm now done with literally everything up until 11:30. 11:30, that's when I actually started looking at the markets. I've pushed it. Maybe it can take me 30 minutes, an hour if I have that much time, but normally it shouldn't take me more than an hour, 30 minutes. So by 12, that's when now I'm looking at my setups. Okay, this is GBP JPY, this is what I'm waiting for it. So from there, waiting for it, obviously waiting is waiting. I can't say I'm going to be waiting for 2 hours or 3 hours. Waiting can take as long as it can even cause me to wait up until tomorrow, or I can just have to wait up until maybe the New York session opens, maybe around 2:30, 3:30, somewhere around those times. That's when the market will be volatile for me. So I'll wait up until I do happen to see a setup. But let me tell you guys, when I do wait, I don't just sit and wait, because I see most people, they want to always trade. So instead of me waiting and just sitting like this, having nothing to do, that's when I'm gonna take my time and invest it into things that can improve me. Let's say now, for instance, obviously I've got into courses that I'm learning from, so I'll just be going through some courses, learning from. I've got businesses that I have, so I'll just be working on those businesses while I've got the advantages of me having multiple screens is because I also want to manage my businesses while I'm looking at the markets as it's moving. While it's moving like this, it's moving, and I know in my head that this is where I actually want it to be at. I'm going to enter when it gets here and stuff. But at the same time, on the other screens, that's when I would be now maybe I'm zoned in, I'm focusing more on, building this, or I'm now focusing on doing this. I have to take care of this. I have to solve this issue. I have to deal with this while I'm looking at the markets. Then boom, that time would come whereby I see the markets. Remember, I've analyzed, I've meditated, I've cleared my mind. I'm in a good space to trade to execute the markets. So what I do is that when I do happen to see an opportunity, I just look at the fact that does it actually match my criteria, and once it does tick all my boxes, obviously it means that I do have to implement. And when I do execute on I trade on it, what I do is that eventually I just have to share it to my private Signals members. So at times it gets a bit more tough, because what I focus more on doing is sharing it to them first and then entering, because at times I would enter first and then I'll share the trade and then find out that, like, if it's going in direction, find out that I'm in more profits and they are just, it's not adding up. So what I've done is that I was like, you know what, I'll sacrifice myself. So whenever I see an opportunity, a trade, instead of taking it first, the first thing that I do is to share it with the private members, and as soon as I share it, that's when I'll catch it. Sometimes I catch it good, because as I share it, maybe it goes a bit below. If I'm buying, maybe it goes a bit below, and then when I'm about to enter, it's at the low, and then I buy, it goes up. But sometimes I share while it's going up, and then when they enter quicker, and when I'm about to enter, find out that like it's already just pushed with like maybe 4 pips or 3 pips upwards, but I could have profited from those 2 or 3 pips, you understand? So that's how I go about it. But that's when actually I execute on this trade. At this time, you're probably thinking that I'm done, I've executed a trade, boom. No guys, we just got started executing the trade. Obviously I now need to start managing it, because for me to be in the trade, it means that now I've got funds that are at risk. Imagine when you're not in a trade at all, when you're not in a trade, there's no money that you can lose, because there's no trade that's running. But if you are in a trade, there's money that you can lose. So you have to, obviously with us, we always log a specific amount of capital. But when it does happen to go up in profits, what am I doing? Am I pushing? Am I moving my stop losses and stuff? So that's what I do. I focus. Now that I've executed the trade, I'll be looking at the markets like this. I'll stop whatever that I'm doing, and then I'll just start focusing on the markets. Follow through up until maybe if it hits stop loss, okay, perfect, it hits stop loss. But if it goes in profits, then I'll move, I'll keep on adjusting my stop loss and share it with my members. Hey guys, we're doing this, up until we now have no longer money that we are risking. We are now in profits, and our stop loss is also in profits. We let it go, and then that's when we'd also enjoy, like, I'm letting it ride up until maximum profits. So that's one of the things that we do in the markets each and every single day. And you're probably thinking to yourself, whoa, that's a lot of things, how do I do that? No, I started off at first, when I was still doing this, I didn't have a specific routine that I had to follow through with, but instead I outworked myself every single day, 24 hours. I think I was working 18 hours a day. At night, I was like watching YouTube videos, watching courses that I got at that time, doing this, watching them the whole night. I'll sleep on the floor, wake up in the morning. As soon as I wake up, London session, I wanted to trade all the sessions. I wanted to be involved with anything that I had to do with the markets. That's the only problem that I had at that time. So now, fortunately, I don't have, at the time, I remember I even was analyzing 28 currencies at a point, because there's 28 of them. I was analyzing all 28, and I wanted to trade all 28, which didn't make sense. So now, like I did say, I focus on getting the most, because doing a lot is not getting the most done, is not showing or getting the results that you need. So that is a typical, day, not even a day in life, but that's what more like my routine would be like. And obviously, during the routine, they'll be mixed up with things such as, like, I barely maybe would go out for lunch or for this or this. I'd barely do that, but maybe sometimes I can do that, but I just love sitting in front of the laptop and just outworking myself. And that's something that I think you guys should be looking into doing. If you do not have a specific routine, I highly recommend that you actually do follow through. Focus on the next 12 days in you finding out what is that routine that you can build. What can you do? How can you have a trading journal? How can you update your journal? How can you focus on this? Because I've got my own journal. I update it daily. I work on my own things each and every single day that has to do with my trading. Because why? Trading is my business. When I say I've got businesses, I mean trading. And if I say I have multiple businesses, I mean other businesses, and as well I have other multiple trading accounts. Do you get that? So I can have one account for this, one account for that, and that. So I treat them as different types of businesses. So I look at them. What revenue did my business make? What expenses did I have this month? What I look at it in that way. It's business for me. So we're making business here. We're not here to play. So if you do not respect it or treat it like a business, obviously even the money that you're going to be making will show that it's not a business. It's just for fun. But if you're treating it like a business, then you can literally like live off of it, and be able to just do what you want to do and do it at any given time that you want to do that. But I think that's like some of the daily routines that you guys can implement. Take it and apply it, because knowledge that you know and do not apply doesn't work, but knowledge that you actually do apply. Someone out there is making much more better than you, but you know more than them. You know why? It's because of they are applying the little that they know. Let me leave you guys like that with that. See you on the next YouTube video.